Greetings.
Yes, that's my friend Jeff. To all the people that are on the motherfucking YouTube. Okay. Alright. I got a question from a user that I have no recollection of the name of. It's one of those things where it's like MR7 blah blah blah, okay? But I don't want to be insensitive. He's a nice person from his writing on the comments. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about, he asked a question about my idea for like government and everything, and he asked the question, who would be the people that are assessing or grading the people's productivity or the people's work, okay? That is an office called Adjustment Claims Office, okay, and that the officers or the bureaucrats of that office would be they would be essentially trained to assess specific fields of productivity. Okay, so if they're food, somebody specifically involved or specifically good at food, they would be, and you are producing a tomato sauce, that bureaucrat, all you have to do is give notice to the office, your local office, that you desire to be evaluated, your productivity or your product to be evaluated. That officer or that bureaucrat then comes to your house. You can feed the bureaucrat with some of the sauce or whatever food you're creating, and then based upon not only the taste of it but also the ingredients and what have you, that officer would then be able to say, yes, this is a very good tomato sauce, I'm going to give you this grade, okay? And then it would also be determined by how many units you'd be able to produce per capita or per day or whatever, okay? So the amount plus the general quality of the ingredients and everything would determine the grade of the product itself, okay? And these people would be trained to do so. It's not very different from any magazine having expertise in, let's say, fashion or things like that. There isn't a government entity dictating what the quality, what specific, what art is good and what art is bad. It is based upon the intersubjective agreements of what is good, okay? And so this would be, let's say, a specific culture likes a specific taste, therefore the JMCO or the Adjustment Claims Office of that place would be assessing based upon those unwritten rules or unwritten tastes, unwritten ideas of what is good, okay? And then from that point you can basically sell your goods over the internet and all kinds of stuff like that to different cultures, okay, or to different countries, okay. This is a by nature cashless system, okay, getting rid of the debt society, the whole notion of basically banking and everything like that, okay. And it replaces it with a system which I believe much more effective, much more human, okay? Because it's not numbers anymore. It wouldn't be numbers. Each grade that somebody has is basically a class, okay? Their grade of productivity determines their class, okay? So what this basically does is it creates an infinite number of classes. An infinite number of classes eliminates classism. Just like if you have an infinite amount of water, it's not a commodity, okay? So it's basically that kind of an idea. The other idea of this, which is very important, is that we can then basically have no limitations on this. It's the possibility of prosperity is basically unhindered, unleashed by this, okay? And we can then determine what are just jobs or whatever. So if a country has previously cut down a lot of its forests due to commercial or due to capitalism, they can have jobs in that country or in that area of creating trees, and those people would be graded based upon how many trees they produce and the quality of the production. Okay, and so this is obviously I'm not delving deeply into this, and I don't intend to, but another aspect of this which I think is particularly interesting that I've come up with, which would be in opposition to the current paradigm that we have about the humanitarian idea, where we are, and of course this also eliminates taxation and all kinds of stuff like that, okay? But it also makes available the possibility of something like this. And this is provision 9 of the Constitution of the government idea that I have, okay? Those born retarded or made so in life are made citizens de facto by having a job automatically, which only they can have. This job is to help us appreciate what we would otherwise take for granted. Their grade will then be combined with the parents' grades until the child can sign the card that their grade is on, or to one's immediate family after the handicap. The more severe their handicap is, the better they do their job, okay? And that job is to affect the audience, or to affect anybody that they're surrounded by, even if it's just their parents, for heaven's sake. They're doing their job, okay? And what this does is it's extraordinarily human. This takes care of that person from birth to death, and it takes care of their family once they're born, so that because obviously this child's going to have a lot of needs and all kinds of stuff like that, so it takes care of that. Any questions, any comments, leave me whatever you want.
Good day, says.
Good day, Jeff, and good day, Mr. P.